CueCam Presenter 3.2 has a game-changing new feature that I think is going to make a lot of people happy. Slots. Slots lets you instantly share your favourite apps and screens with a click or a keystroke or a button on your Stream Deck. They're down here in CueCam next to the share bar, and they work the same way in every app where you use CueCam, like Zoom, Teams and FaceTime. Before I tell you any more about what slots are, I'm going to tell you what they're not. Slots are not scenes. I think scenes are a bad way to share stuff on your webcam. I'm going to show you what I mean by that now. OBS is a popular way to make a virtual webcam. It does the same thing as CueCam, but in a different way. And it works by making you set up all these different scenes. Here's how complicated it can get for, say, a podcast. This is, maybe not your general meeting thing, but for me, I was doing stuff like this. I've got this intro, outro stuff. Some of these are used more than once. I'm kind of jumping around these different scenes in different orders depending on the show. I've got different sort of media in there. So here's a video that I use, and I had to sort of remember to replace the video each week with something else. And then if you have a look here, you see when the sort of thing with our webcams in it is actually a scene. It's a scene made of a sub scene, and that sub scene is actually where I have to kind of put all my audio and my overlays and my two different camera sources, just so that I can just edit that master scene in one place. So it gets quite sophisticated with how you have to think about it, but also this is just one scene collection, and I've got all these different scene collections as well. So different tasks, you end up switching to these different scene collections, and profiles as well. So you see it's pretty complicated. An alternative to OBS is Ecamm Live, which is sort of a bit friendlier, but still kind of does this scenes paradigm. So here are all my scenes, and I've actually got these nested. So I've got my podcasts, two different podcasts here with the intros and the outros and the guests, but I'm still having to jump between the different scenes. And you see, we've also got these sort of one-off videos that I kind of used in one video, but never again, right? And they're just this is all just cluttering up this profile. And again, I've got multiple profiles in here as well. So you've got all this clutter, and it's just quite hard to navigate as well. People set up their stream. You see people with these massive Stream Decks with a ton of buttons on them, and then they're sort of having to navigate that. And the more you do it, the more you get used to it, but I don't think it's the best way to do things. CueCam solves this profile clutter with the script editor. So the first thing, this is what CueCam solves first. It lets you put your content and anything you want to share in a script like this. So you just have your sequence of things that you want to talk about, and then anything you want to share is just a picture in this particular script. You don't have to create a load of random profiles. You just kind of create the script, and then you're ready to go. And then these scripts are just files on the file system, which can be searched and shared. And if it's not loaded, it's not there, right? It's a different paradigm. It's a different way of thinking about content. It solves the profile clutter, but I noticed people were using the scripts like scenes, right? Because you can deep link into any card. You can right click on it, get a special link that you can put into your Stream Deck, and people were starting to put those links together in their Stream Decks, and then they were triggering the cards, which I think is a bit awkward, even if it does work. It's a way of managing things, but I thought we could do a bit better than that. So here's how I kind of see sharing in CueCam. You share one thing at a time, right? And your camera is here, and your microphone is here, and you shouldn't really have to think about anything else. When you're sharing something, obviously you might want to be picture in picture, so it just puts the picture in picture in. You can turn that on and off with the same button. And you can just choose something to share with this nice big button called the share bar. And then when you click on that, you get all your different shares. You can see any Apple devices that are plugged in. You can see all your different cameras. You can share images, videos. And you can also bring up a blank board if you want, and just quickly draw something. And then, so when you are sharing something, clicking on the share bar again just puts it out the way like this into a side 3D, so you can come full screen, and then you can bring it back. And then when you press the X button to get rid of it, that is now, the share bar remembers the last thing you shared, so next time you click it, brings back the same thing, right? And it's actually, if you want to get more sophisticated, you can trigger any of those shares using deep links. It does give you this copy deep link button. So you've always been able to set up your Stream Deck or hotkey program to trigger scenes in CueCam, but to trigger, not scenes, but trigger different shares in CueCam. But this didn't always behave perfectly, and it would bring CueCam into focus, which unless you used Philip's plugin, which he shared on our Discord, But I have actually found myself day to day wanting to share more than just like, I found the share bar just remembering one thing was a little bit limiting, right? Like just day to day. I do want to share a handful of different things, you know, regularly. It's not dozens, but it's like less than 10. So I thought, well, let's have up to 9 slots, right? And so I can set up the slots and be able to share stuff from the share bar like that. So with slots, you can set up your favorite shares right next to the share bar down here and just trigger them. With the number key. So you can see here, each of these slots has a number. So you can just trigger slot 1 with the 1 key on your keyboard, and that's going to bring it up. And you can share a window, you can share an app, multiple apps, a blank board or a connected device or your whole screen, right? You can just set these up as many as you need. If you've got more, you might have to make the window a bit wider, but you get up to 9 slots. And then you've got this new feature of the Stream Deck plugin, which gives you a load slot button, which you can then drag one of these, you know, each of your slots into Stream Deck buttons, and you see it's going to pick up the icon. It's going to pick up, like, even if there's multiple apps, it's going to pick up those multiple app icons. And you see it knows what those different shares are, but you're actually just assigning the slot. So if you change the slot that's what's assigned to slot 1, that will just kind of be reflected on the Stream Deck. You'd have to go back to the Stream Deck again. So that's really handy. So how do you set up these slots? Well, first you share something with the share bar, then you right click on the share bar, and then you've got this option to save to slot. So if I just pull this over, you can see I've right clicked, I've gone save to slot, and then I've selected slot 5, and now that's going to be in slot 5, whatever I'm currently sharing. So it's really that easy to set up slots. And now you can just access those however you want. And if you press the space bar, it's going to toggle aside 3D. So if I just show you this, I can go to my web browser by pressing 1, press the space bar, it goes into aside, press the space bar again. If I press the escape key, it's going to like stop sharing. And then I can go and share. I could share like my whole screen, which is going to give us some Ecamm again. I could share my like coding editors. I can go to like I can share a blank board quickly and just like draw a picture, get rid of that, bring it back, get rid of it. I can end the share, or I can press 5. I can share my iPad screen, which takes a moment, but yeah, here you can see video pencil and how I'm drawing on everything. So this is now I think that's the best of both worlds, like instant access to your favorite screen shares without having to set up all that picture-in-picture video pencil layers or anything like that. And then if you want to put together a show, then you build a script instead of clogging up your tools with a load of scene profiles. CueCam 3.2 is out now. Anyone can give it a go. You just need a Mac. You don't even need an iPad or anything like that. And you can just get started today.